The other thing that we know that's going to happen is more CEOs and CIOs are going to be asked, hey, what is my time to value on these projects? Hey, what are the costs going to be? How long is it going to be before I get an ROI? I'm sure these questions get hit with you. How do you address these types of things? Because like you said, there's a 2 to 4% increase in cost potentially. It sounds okay, right? It sounds like that's a good threshold, but I'm sure these questions get asked you. So when you think of like these great projects and they're well run, what is my time to value? How fast can I see an ROI? How long is it going to be? How effective is it going to be? And of course, everyone wants to know, how much is it going to cost? You already answered that. 2%. You're good.
Maybe let me take a step back, because actually I would say one of the key parts of why you would drive the interoperability is data. Because data is like the core of why you're doing it, because you want to be able to have all this data running through. And the quicker you can get to the data being connected, the quicker you can unlock the value. And normally, I would say, like, we've worked with different clients and there is a definite path to value. I mean, I worked with a telco not so many years ago, and they had a specific issue where they couldn't get iPhones delivered to their customers on the day the iPhones were released. And we know that's fairly often, right? Like pretty much once every 12 to 18 months, there's going to be a new iPhone. And there are certain customers who want to get those iPhones on that day. If you think about how you do that, that's about customer experience and it's all about customer. But to be able to do that, you're in supply chain. It's all going all the way through the organization, from marketing and the customer services all the way back through to supply chain to distribution, which sounds like a pretty simple thing. You would think if you're in the business of getting phones to people, you'd be able to do it in a way that you can plan it, that the day an iPhone comes out, you can do it. Well, if you pause and think about the complexity of all the pieces that need to be joined together, and it's data in the middle of all of that that's going to allow that to happen. Now, in that example, you can measure success based on the NPS scores and the stickiness of the clients, because if the customers are going to keep coming back, if you can meet their demands, so you can quite quickly tie value to it. And what you might find, and we've done this with some clients, is you can connect the data quicker and then maybe do some of the core transformation below the covers whilst you're already starting to unlock some of that early doors value. As you finish the implementation of your new solutions, which are all connected, you no longer have to pull the data out. The data is all connected real time. So there are pieces that we do to help unlock value quicker, whilst under the covers, you're sort of changing the engine, if you like, under the covers. And I think the technologies we have today allow us to do these sorts of things and create these data aggregation platforms at the same time that we're driving that interoperability. And then you could say, well, why don't you just stick with the data aggregation platform? Why would you go through the whole transformation? And you go through the entire transformation because it's giving you that sustainability for the long term. It's giving you that resilience. Then it's all being connected real time, rather than every time you make a change, you've got to go back to the data aggregation and make another change, make another change, make another change. And so that's how we start to think about that to accelerate the path to value. It's like, what could we be doing to help start to drive some of the value, whether it's a saving or it's different opportunity, quicker? And we start to think about it differently. And then, of course, depending on the levels of complexity, depending on the level of simplification and standardization clients are prepared to take, the more we can reduce price. It depends how many pieces you're trying to connect. But what we're all about with this interoperability piece is about standardizing how we plug things together, reusable framework to plug things in, or having pre-built solutions within industries that we can just deploy straight out.
This episode of IT Visionaries is brought to you by Salesforce. With Salesforce's low-code app dev tools, you can be more efficient, more productive, and save money by reducing development time by up to 90%. Get Salesforce's low-code playbook and increase time to value for your team and your customers. Visit salesforce.com/ITV today.